America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to
We're losing our democracy!
more inflation. What a stupid son of a bitch.
Wake up!
Before we get into that, let's get into this.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Liberty Bowl. It is, of course, live stream Friday. As we do every Friday here, we come together, we talk about the latest in news, politics, the latest happenings going on in the world. Well, today we're only going to be really talking about Epstein and the Epstein hoax, right? So not joining me tonight is Liberty Swine. He's having a little bit of some aches and pains. So we wish him well. Hope you get plenty of rest, and we'll see you next week. But tonight, like I said, we're just going to be talking about Epstein. So of course, this whole Epstein fiasco. Of course, we were talking about it last week. Absolutely nuts. Again, just if you haven't heard, they would have you believe that Epstein definitely killed himself. There is no funny business whatsoever going on there. And yeah, there was definitely no client list whatsoever. Not a client list in a physical sense. And also that there was nobody that could be implicated for anything, or there is no evidence of any sort of blackmail scheme going on, anything like that, right? So everything that you've thought about Epstein and known about Epstein for the last decade or so, yeah, none of that's actually real. Actually, completely false, right? Again, as I mentioned quite often last week, it's rather insulting, to be honest. And of course, that also does raise some questions as to whether this is intentional. Of course, Bongino and Cash Patel have been deer in the headlights. Yeah, he killed himself. Of course, we all saw the interview. We were playing that last week. So it raises some questions as to whether or not the blatant mishandling of this is intentional, as to whether or not they're trying to sweep something under the rug, beyond this. Again, I don't know. I mean, they have plenty of other ways to do distractions. I do believe that they're just a bit in over their head on this one. To be honest with you, that's my honest opinion. But dude, the MAGA base. I mean, of course we're a radical individualists, every one of us, right? And that's what unites us, ironically, somehow. So the MAGA base, of course, is it's fracturing, right? But at the same time, we're not necessarily in ideology. We are more or less kind of in a amorphous blob of more conservative values, of liberally minded people, of just anti-government people. We're a bit of a hodgepodge. That's why everybody's really kind of looking for something different out of the Trump presidency, right? Me, myself, I was looking for a lot of more transparency. So I am personally quite bummed on this one. Of course, like I said, that my whole thing was that, sunlight's the best disinfectant when it comes to, handling these issues within government. Apparently that's not the case. Of course, there's other people that just wanted things done with the economy. That seems to be a lot of the majority of his voters. There was a lot of people that really just wanted stuff done with immigration. Of course, that's another one of the theories, that he's using this whole Epstein thing to kind of distract you from the fact that really ain't much going on with the whole immigration thing right now. Of course, courts are starting to slow it up. What was it? I think a district court judge ordered that Trump stop just the random raids in California, which I do find quite amusing. I think those motherfuckers are still over there actually rioting. Like it's been over a month, I think, right? At this point, it's been at least several weeks. I remember we were talking about that weeks ago, right? So yeah, I think those motherfuckers are still over there rioting right now. I don't know. But either way, yeah, so whole bunch of stuff going on with the immigration thing. And so that's, of course, another thing that's kind of slipping among his base, right? A whole bunch of people are getting kind of discouraged about this, right? Of course, the big beautiful bill did pass, which does mean that we do have a lot more funding for ICE, for Border Patrol, just all around, getting these illegal immigrants deported, these mass deportations. We have funding for that now. So, of course, time will tell. We'll see how that ends up going. But ultimately, it seems a bit far-fetched that he's going to, in order to sweep under the rug. Because as I say, I just fucking dusted it off right there within 2 seconds, right? Within 2 seconds, right? So yeah, ultimately, I don't think he needs to pull out all the stops, down to Epstein, in order to distract from the fact that his immigration numbers aren't that great, right? In terms of the economy, we're still waiting for the tariffs to go into effect. I believe those go into effect fairly soon. Actually, I don't know, in the next week. I don't know. Maybe they are in effect already. I don't know, to be honest with you. I haven't been paying that much attention this week. Like I said, I'm still pretty bummed out about the Epstein thing. Got a little bit jaded on the whole politics thing this week. So I've been listening still. I've been listening to, everything that's been going on, but I haven't been reading as avidly into any of the other stuff. So maybe this was the desired effect, to just kind of pull the wool over our eyes, to make us not pay attention to what's going on in the background. Right. But either way, it is rather disheartening. So yeah, we're going to be talking about that. And I think this here joke from Shane Gillis, which of course we all saw, he presented at the ESPYs just the other night, sums it up real well.
Actually, there was supposed to be an Epstein joke here, but as it got deleted, must have probably deleted itself, right? Probably never existed, actually. Let's move on as a country and ignore that. The New York.
All right. Let's move on as a country and ignore that. Right. So that's what they would have you believe. Right. That's what they would have you do. Of course, we're seeing all these influencers out here right now trying to, let's just move on. Let's just move on. And of course, I do understand there are, things to be weighed here. And there is an aspect of a lot of people, sadly, don't care about the Epstein list, right? Of course, if you ask me, in my opinion, I think the sexual abuse of children, in any fashion for your own gratification of any sort like that, I believe is probably the most egregious act that a human being can commit while on this earth. I'll be honest with you. That's my opinion. I believe that the people on the Epstein client list are deserving of death, in my opinion. And that's not, and not trying to threats or anything like that. Just in my opinion, in my mind, in my perfect world, if I were to run the justice system, yes, pedophilia, things like that would be punishable by death. But nonetheless, I don't run the world. I fucking barely run a damn YouTube channel. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and move on. So yeah, everybody just kind of sweep this under the rug, right? It's just forget about it, right? Nothing to see here. So again, like I said, there are benefits, I guess, to that. Of course, as I said last month, last week, I'm sorry, my quote from last week was, well, just shut the fuck up and go ahead and fucking fix the economy, you pedo protecting son of a bitch. Like, right? Ultimately, that's kind of what it boils down to. Because I mean, if they want to move on from it, which they seem like they are trying to do, that's what's going to happen, because that's who's in power, right? And again, there are, like I said, Trump's doing good things. Trump's doing good things. I mean, he's swinging the weight of the United States, militarily and economically around the entire globe right now. And that's again, time will tell. We'll still see how a lot of this stuff ends up paying out in the end. We're still 6 months into this administration, so I mean, we still have plenty of time to see what ends up going on. But like I said, he is doing plenty of good things right now, right? He is working on getting a lot of these, immigrants out of here. He's working on cleaning up the voter rolls. There's plenty of stuff going on that is positive, but this really is a gigantic fumble. It's Trump's big, beautiful fumble, as the title says. So yeah, we do got, like I said, a whole bunch of influencers coming out and just trying to, like I say, just move on. There's nothing to see here. As I did mention, there are quite a few people out there that actually do, just like I don't fucking care about the Epstein list. Like, yeah, fucking, there's the people that are the mindset of like, fucking, of course, the political fucking elite are pedophiles and fucking weirdo motherfuckers. I don't give a shit what the fuck they do in their off time, as long as they get the fucking, things accomplished that I want them to get accomplished. Right. And then there's the other side that's, you ask them like, oh, what do you think of Jeffrey Epstein? Like, who is that? Is that like a congressman? Right. So there really is a large portion of people that don't actually give a shit about what's going on with Epstein. And that's sad to me. Like I say, that's sad to me. Right. But there are plenty of social media influencers out there that are that would tell you different. That would tell you that, oh, actually, there's definitely nothing to see here, right? So Epstein killed himself. That's what the report says, and people just don't want to accept that. And we need to accept that and move on, right? We need to send this money to Israel. That's what we need to do. That's what some people would have you believe. Oh, wrong one. Sorry. That's what some people would have you believe. There we go.
That amounts to an actual conclusion to an investigation. They're going to be very upset today because it turns out that the DOJ and the FBI have concluded that Epstein didn't have a client list and died by suicide, according to a memo detailing the findings obtained by Axios. Now, again, does this put to bed like all inquiries? Of course not. People can continue to speculate as much as they want. And I think there's still open questions here regarding how did Epstein make his money? But that's a very serious open question. And the speculation for a long time was he made his money from blackmail. But the DOJ and the FBI, again, run by people like Dan Bongino and Kash Patel and Pam Bondi are telling you, I'm not telling you, they're telling you, people who are members of the Trump administration, people you elected and put into these positions to get you the truth on this matter, are telling you that he didn't, in fact, he was not murdered. He did not keep a client list. And he did not blackmail powerful figures. Okay, right? That is the thing that they are saying, not I. They are saying this. If you're willing to throw that over and claim they're lying, then I'd like to see you present your evidence that they are in fact lying. Because I know Dan. I don't think that Dan Bongino is lying to me. I know Kash Patel a little bit. I don't think Kash Patel is lying to me. I don't think these people are lying to me. Which means that if somebody else continues to claim that they're lying, they ought to provide their evidence at this point. And now is the point at which the facts on the ground have changed. And so either you ought to shift your opinion based on the facts that have now emerged, or you ought to acknowledge that this was never a fact-based inquiry in the first place.
All right. Well,
that amounts to an...
Well, so that's Ben Shapiro's take on it. So I do want to address, of course, the one thing that he did point out of, we have these people in these positions of authority that we have appointed there in order to, get these jobs accomplished, right? Such as Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, Donald Trump himself, right? And if we don't believe them and their official narrative, then who will we believe, right? And that is actually a good question. All right, that's I'm not being facetious in any way. I mean, that's an actual good question, right? And I do understand that, but at the same time, with how much has been built up on this, again, fucking Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison right now for trafficking fucking young girls to absolutely nobody, right? Or as this new report would have you believe, to trafficking young girls only to Jeffrey Epstein and maybe fucking Prince Harry or whatever fucking prince, I don't remember which one, from the fucking half the fucking royal families from over there in the UK. But yeah, they would have you believe that, oh, that's the case, right? I don't believe that, right? I don't believe that. I'm sure you don't fucking believe that. I'm sure about a good 90% of the people that actually pay attention to what's going on with the Epstein thing don't believe that, right? And I obviously as I mentioned before, I do believe that this is a multinational mainly United States and Israel kind of dark operation type thing. I think that's the whole reason why he got these sweetheart deals in the first place. I think that's the whole reason why, there's of course the connection through Ghislaine Maxwell through her father, who was, embedded with Mossad. Of course, this is what they do, right? What the fuck do we have a CIA for, if not to blackmail fucking, foreign, people that we want to be able to keep under our thumb, right? And again, it's sickening, it's disgusting, but I believe that the truth actually is that we live in a world that is sustained by fucking blackmail and just political elites and social elites and people like that, basically just being absolutely debaucherous scumbag people. And well, we got the fucking dirt on you. So basically everybody's in this gigantic festering club of just people that are dirty in a sense, right? And that's not trying to say like, oh, there's some grand conspiracy, anything like that. Like, no, I think it's more or less just kind of like, you don't want to sit there pointing at over there throwing stones in glass houses, so to speak. You know what I say? You don't want to be sitting there like pointing out like, oh, this is that and that, meanwhile, shit, you're fucking probably implemented in 10 other fucking things just as well, right? The whole thing with politics is they try not to do the whole thing that's been going on right now, which is basically lawfare, basically going after their political opponents using the legal system, things like that. They try to avoid things like that, right? So yeah, and I think a lot of the reason for that is because, again, they're all some dirty motherfuckers. They all do things that are nefarious, even if some of them are down to like the lower level, just kind of, oh, just a secret donation, things like that, whatever. Be like, oh, I got these free tickets for a family vacation, whatever, or gold fucking bars from what the fuck ever. Yeah, but I think that there's basically a gigantic world of people that are not necessarily gigantic world, but a small, dark world of people that basically run the world, that do have these desires, proclivities, and at the same time there are plenty of people willing to be like Jeffrey Epstein, like P. Diddy and whatnot, and provide these sorts of services to these gigantically wealthy people of great influence and power that come to these places. I'm sure there's plenty of people that are willing to accommodate them, and anything you want. Oh, you like a young lady boy? Here you go. Like, I'm sure that there's plenty of people around the world that are willing to provide to any of these people's whims and desires, right? And again, like I said, it doesn't even have to be I'm not trying to say that, oh, everybody in there is, like all fucking pedophiles, everybody thinks this way or anything like that. But I mean, like I say, it could be anything, down to, again, we're seeing people going after each other for, where they state their residence at, where they get loans from and things like that, how they represent their assets and whatnot. So yeah, either way, I don't think that it's just a simple like, oh nope, it's just he's trafficking people to nobody. There's nothing to see here, right? We have thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of tape of just child pornography. No, we definitely can't tell if there's anybody in these tapes whatsoever. Like, oh, what do you mean? The only way to tell would be to release child pornography out into the public, and we're not. You're asking us to release child. No, nobody's asking you to do that. Like, crop a fucking face, dude. Like that's really all that you need to do. And we're not trying to say that, oh, we want a list. Like, I'm sure somewhere out there he's got pen and paper, a ledger, with all these people's names and their video number. I doubt it's anything like that, right? Again, like I say, I really think it is just a dark, seedy world of people within power, basically just being able to do whatever they want because of the fact that they are the people that are in power. So ultimately, like I said, it really does come down to the whole utilitarian question of well, do we just kind of look the other way and just let these people suffer? We'll just kind of live with it in the back of our mind that our entire world powers, our world power structures, things like that are all run basically off of blackmail, and they're all run by people that are either pedophiles or in some way some sort of either sexual deviant or some fucking gigantic greed person, what the fuck ever, or do we live with that? Or again, sunlight is the best disinfectant. Sometimes it burns shit down too, right? Again, fuck it, drop them out, dude. Drop them out. Like I said, in my opinion, I think these people need to be exposed. And I think that again, like I say, the whole thing against this type of thing. If this is the situation, again, like I say, we don't actually know. All of this stuff is just conspiracies, speculation, what have you, right? We don't actually know. But if this is the situation, this would cause, major chaos around the world, right? Governments would collapse, major world industries and stuff like that would collapse. Grocery store fucking chains would collapse. Everything would fucking collapse. Society would start collapsing around you. Well, I mean, ultimately, it's going to be rebuilt in the end, and this time it's going to be rebuilt without the fucking use of pedophiles and dark fucking evil, you know, uh, evil people, running the world. And like I say, expose it, expose it. I don't fucking care if this whole place burns down. It's in God's hands, right? It's in God's hands, and that's what we need to always remember. Is yeah, like I said, just the truth. Let the truth come out. Yeah, like I said, it would be a no doubt that it would be painful that bad things would happen. But nonetheless, like I say, I mean, it's either that or we just live in a gigantic cloud of a lie of how our world functions, right? And again, like I say, we really have lived that way for some time now. I'm sure going way, way, way back, it wasn't even a thing. Like fucking way back in the Roman Empire and stuff like that. Like you couldn't blackmail people with their sexual deviancy. They're like fucking like, wait, what do you mean? You don't sleep with young boys too? I thought we all did that. Like, yeah, that's the way that it was back in those days. Sexual deviancy was just kind of like a thing. It was almost kind of like a spiritual thing in some of these, pagan circles and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, it's different times in that aspect, but ultimately absolute power corrupts, right? And this is what we see within the upper echelons of society in the world today. And it truly is. It's an evil place, and ultimately, like I say, I think sunlight's the best disinfectant, and just we have to always remember that it's in God's hands. Let the truth be revealed, and let come what may. Ultimately, as I said, this has been a bit of a normie. I guess normies have their blinders up to this thing. I don't know. Like I said, if it's either just ignorance, there's lots of people out there that are just like, wait, Epstein, like who the fuck is that? I don't know who Epstein is, because keep in mind a lot of this stuff really did come out some time ago. What was it? 2019 was when he died. So I mean it's really been kind of a slow burning, sizzling out since then. Of course, we had the conviction of Ghislaine Maxwell. I think it was like 2 years ago, something like that. So yeah, there was that. Again, and like I said, if none of this is actually true, then why the fuck is Ghislaine Maxwell in prison? Like, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever, right? Any sense whatsoever. And again, there's all kinds of different, angles to it. Like I said, Epstein died while Trump was still in office, and then not much goes on. In fact, actually, like I say, Ghislaine Maxwell gets, convicted and stuff like that. And then as soon as Trump gets back in office, Virginia Giuffre dies. She gets hit by a bus, says that, oh, I'd like to see my kids, just a little bit more. And then a couple weeks later, unalives herself. Unbelievable. And like I said, this seems to keep happening during Trump's administration. So like I said, I don't believe that Donald Trump is a pedophile. I don't think that he's in the files himself. I don't think that there's any actual evidence against him. And again, this isn't going off of anything like that. It's really just kind of going off of a gut feeling based off of I guess how I don't know, like I say, how I see Donald Trump. I don't see him as really going after young girls. I see him going after fucking supermodels and people in their mid 20s, sometimes even to their late 20s. I don't know. I see him as that type of dude. I don't see him going after teenagers and stuff. But a lot of people are out there trying to say like, oh well, if Donald Trump was in these, the Democrats had these files during the Biden administration. If they were really trying to bring down Trump, they would have definitely just released it. And again, this goes back to the whole thing to where just, I guess kind of pawn scum sticks together in a sense. And I really just think it's kind of okay. If the Biden administration were to release just Donald Trump, look, here's the Epstein file, just Donald Trump. That's the only name that's not redacted out of the entire thing. Do you think we'd buy that? Even if it again, we'd probably believe it. Obviously, if it's court documentation, there's video of Donald Trump, what have you, whatever. We'd obviously we'd probably believe that. But I mean, ultimately, do you think we'd like, okay, well, tell us who the fuck else is in there? Like, no, you're not gonna use this selectively, right? Ultimately, like I say, it would just kind of stir up a pot that they don't want to stir. So I think that ultimately they just kind of wanted to leave that alone. They didn't want to bring that up. I don't think that he is in the files, because I think, again, like I said, it's just kind of a gut feeling. It's not based off of, the Democrats didn't bring it up to try and bring him down. They shot him, things like that. Like I say, yeah, shooting at him, things like that, having these weirdo fucking MK Ultra people go start shooting at him and things like that. That's much easier to cover up than, we're releasing this one Epstein file. It's just Trump. Here, you guys go take a look. There's nothing else to see here. Definitely not. Like, no, that would just open up a whole nother can of worms that wouldn't want to get into. That is a much bigger bombshell than, like I say, actually trying to shoot Trump, apparently. So yeah, I don't think that that's the case. I think that ultimately this is the third rail of politics. I honestly, like I say, I think that our world is fucking run by blackmail and fucking weirdo demon fucking lizard people, pedophile, skin walking pieces of shit. Right. I honestly think that's the way that our world is run. And not to like, different creatures and things like that, yada, they got zippers on the back, nothing like that. I mean, I ultimately just think that the world is run by the most scumbaggy of people, right? Ultimately the most scumbaggy of people. And that's not just within politics, that's within the heads of industry. That's basically the people that are at the upper echelons of society in really any sort of aspect. I think that for the most part, you can't reach those heights without being an unscrupulous person, without being a person that lacks a moral true north. I don't think that you can reach those heights of power within our society without being somebody that's willing to step on some people to get up to the top, to say the least, to step on some people. I think that's a hard truth that we need to understand, right? And that's my whole thing as to why communism is not going to work, at least within industry. Fuck, dude, you could take down people within a capitalist industry and things like that. It's going to be very difficult, but ultimately it can be done. You as we saw with fucking Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light, things like that. Like we the people can attack fucking corporations. We could vote with our dollar in the same way that we vote within our constitutional republic to get things done. Hopefully that's the way that it ends up working out, but that's the way it's supposed to work out, but it doesn't always do that. So ultimately I think it's probably a much better system than communism, right? Because communism ultimately, like I say, with capitalism, people at the heads of industry and stuff like that, they still ultimately have a fiduciary obligation to make line go up, basically, right? They have a responsibility, they have a duty to do that, and the only way that they do that is by having happy customers, right? They don't have happy customers, they start to go under, and then we're starting to see stores close, we're starting to see corporations collapsing, things like that, right? So ultimately they are beholden to the consumer, right? Whereas opposed to communism, where everything is basically just centralized within to a centralized bureaucracy with a supreme leader at the top, right? That's like I say, with heads of industry, people that are going to get to the top are going to be more than likely evil people, more than likely not the best people, not the most moral, ethical people in the world that are going to make it to the tops of these things. But ultimately, they are beholden to the consumer, right? In communism, the most evil person rise to the only top because there is only one fucking center at the top of communism, right? It's the like I say, the centralized bureaucracy, right? So like I say, when it comes to things like industry, you know, we can change things, right, based off of our consumer needs, based off of you know, our willingness to actually, you know, give our money to said company and corporation. We can help change things, and they are forced to kind of adjust accordingly. Not so with politics, right? Not so when it comes to a political power, not so when it comes to governmental power, right? That's not necessarily the same case as we see. You know, you could vote somebody in there and thinking like, yeah, man, my guy got in, fucking things are gonna be great now. He's gonna get this, and this done, you know. And then it turns out he's gonna start working on actually that, and that. And it's like, fuck, man, you know, like, well, I guess I'm not voting for you in 2 years. You know, whereas opposed to, you know, things like the heads of industry, well, I'm not fucking going to your store tomorrow because I go there every other fucking day, you know, like, much more effective, much more immediate right there, you know, much more responsive by the people at the top, not necessarily with the government. So like I say, I would much rather have sleazy fucking scumbags working at the heights of industry, you know, kind of running things, not necessarily running things, of course, you know, like I say, running their industries and things like that, but ultimately having much more power than you know, a lot of these actors within government, but not in this way. not in this way, obviously, not when it comes to things like pedophilia, blackmail, what have you. You definitely don't want none of that stuff, right? But ultimately, Donald Trump's polling numbers are going up, right? His polling numbers are going up, as exemplified by this here CNN meltdown. Let me see if I can pull this back real quick. And what is it? Harry Enton. Go ahead and pull this up. So yeah, Harry Enton's over here having a meltdown. He just can't believe that Donald Trump is still gaining support, even with all of the online backlash. All right, let's check this out, and then I'll go ahead and break it down for you a little bit.
And look, I think this one surprised me a bit because of all of these complaints online going after Trump and the Epstein files. You might think his approval ratings were going down, Republicans. If anything, they're going up. Republicans who approve of Trump, look at our CNN poll. The prior one, 86%. The one out this week, 88% were Republicans. How about Quinnipiac? The prior poll, 87% approve of Republicans. This week out, 90% with Republicans. If anything, Donald Trump's approval rating has gone up since this whole Epstein saga started. He is at the apex or close there too in terms of his popularity with Republican voters, Epstein files, complaints, or not.
You just proved that not everything online is real
Yes,
in real life.
Who knew?
Amazing.
Twitter and X are not reality.
Is there any reason that you can find that this hasn't taken hold and hurt him?
Yeah. I mean, on X, all you hear about is the Epstein files. But how about out in the real public? Republicans who said the top issue was Epstein case. The answer is one, and not 1%. One responded. This is a great little finding that Ariel Edwards-Levy, who of course is part of our polling unit, found. Just one single Republican said that the nation's top problem is in fact the Epstein case. Not much of a surprise that therefore Donald Trump's approval rating has not suffered with Republicans because of the Epstein case. Because the bottom line is most Americans say it's not high up on their priority.
Right, so it's not up high on their priority list, and that's something that we did, you know, kind of mention a bit earlier, and that's, like I say, that's really true. Sadly, you know, a lot of people really don't care about, you know, how our world works. A lot of people just kind of take evil people and evil actions and evil as you know, necessary, as something that, oh, we shouldn't fight against. You know, we just, things like this happen in the world, right? Oh, you can't fucking stop drugs from coming in over into the United States, right? Where there's a demand, right? There's always going to be a way, and that's just such a defeatist attitude, man. Such a defeatist attitude. But I understand that it is the way that a lot of people within the United States think. A lot of people just, you know, they can't see past, you know, their front door. You know, they can't see past what's going on within their house and their little bubble, things like that. And I understand it. You know, I understand. Like I said, I haven't been paying attention too much this week. I mean, you know, I got kids. You know, I got obligations. I got stresses, just like everybody else. You know, so I mean, I could understand. You know, but ultimately, I don't know, man. Like I say, yeah, I could understand why Trump's polling is going up, man. And it really is. It's because we are not in the same way that the Democrats are, right? We are not groupthink. We are not hive mind. We can be critical, right? And then we can, you know, roll with the punches and just like, well, fuck, that was a fucking loss. That was a fucking fumble. Fuck you, Trump. You fucked up on this one. And again, like I say, there's two halves to this, man. Like I say, there's the whole, well, you fucked this one up, Trump. Go fucking fix the economy, you pedophile protecting son of a bitch, you know. And then there's the other side of just oh well, you know, if you don't believe, you know, Trump and Bongino and Pam Bondi and all this and that, like, who are you gonna believe? Yeah. So I mean, ultimately, I think a lot of it is just, you know, we're going to take our wins and we're going to continue to move on. Again, like I said, I'm not going to move on. I'm going to continue fucking pounding this. And, you know, if I ever, you know, see, you know, Trump, obviously I highly doubt it, but I'm going to be like, oh, tell us about the Epstein files. Like, you know, I'll probably be a dick about it, but nonetheless, I highly doubt that that's ever going to happen. All right. But yeah, either way, our world's run by fucking pedophiles and blackmailers. But ultimately, like I said, I think I would actually be more surprised if the truth was that the Epstein files were just totally, you know, above board, nothing to see here. You know, there's definitely no blackmail ring. There's no, blackmail scheme among government intelligences around the world that takes place. Yeah, nobody does anything like that. Like, why would anybody do anything like that? I would honestly be more surprised if that were the truth. Right? I'd, like, honestly, dude, if like I said, what the fuck do we have a CIA for? If we're not fucking blackmailing foreign governments and things like that, if we're not, you know, honeypotting people and things like that, what the fuck, if we're not doing any of these, you know, fucking mind games and propaganda and shit like that in foreign countries, the fuck do we even have a CIA for? What the fuck what are you guys doing? You guys doing mind tricks on us? Like, obviously you are, but I mean, nonetheless, like, you know, if our government did not have a fucking file this fucking thick on every single foreign leader around the damn world, you know, complete with fucking blackmail, you know, tabs and all this and that, I would be very surprised now and actually probably be very disappointed in my, you know, evil, corrupt government. I mean, like, dude, like, what kind of, you know, like, as we've been saying before, like, the fuck, this isn't the fascism I voted for. I want the fascism that I voted for. You know, the fuck, this isn't the fucking corrupt government I thought we had. Like, fuck, dude, like, I thought you guys were way better than this. You know, I thought you guys were miles ahead of what the fuck we were doing. You know, like, so honestly, like I say, I think I'd be pretty surprised if there wasn't a fucking an Epstein blackmail list. You know, I'd be pretty surprised if we don't have several more around the world right now taking fucking notes and pictures and videos and things like that. So that way we could blackmail other foreign dignitaries from around the world. So that way we can continue to, like I say, you know, pull sway over a lot of these people, including within our own government, right? Again, like I say, there's a reason that we have such cohesion among the upper echelons of our political society. Right. And I think a reason for that is because they're all dirty in some ways or another. And I do believe that the intelligence community, which, as Schumer would tell you, has, you know, 9 ways from Sunday to get back at you. I think that this might be one of those 9 ways. Okay. I'm pretty sure that, like I say, we have a fucking blackmail list all over the fucking world. And I'm pretty sure that that's why a lot of these people don't just like start fucking attacking each other, you know, and actually going after each other with the actual dirt that they know that they have on each other, you know. And I think it's because they know that they have dirt on each other and they don't want any fucking dirt actually getting out there. So they're just going to, talk about dumb shit, right? You're going to talk about dumb shit. So, speaking of dumb shit, let me close out of this. The Wall Street Journal is getting sued by Donald Trump for $10 billion after they released a fake letter, right? So we're just gonna check out some of these posts real quick from the Wall Street Journal. Just search up the Wall Street Journal and Trump, right? So clandestine says the Wall Street Journal wants us to believe that Trump typed a birthday letter to Epstein in 2003, and then Trump hand drew a naked woman around the letter, and that this was never leaked over the last 22 years. It magically just showed up today, and we're not allowed to see the letter, right? Right. So again, this is another thing that is bringing up, Donald Trump's polling, is because of the fact that they always attack him like this. They always attack him in the stupidest fucking ways, right? This is PP tape 2.0, right? Oh, there's, I'm sure there's a fucking video of Donald Trump doing something somewhere in some place. We just don't know what that thing is or what that place is or whether or not this video actually exists. Like, the fuck are you reporting on then, right? The fuck are you reporting on, man? Absolutely fucking ridiculous. And this, like I say, this type of stuff, it's just ridiculous, and it does help Donald Trump every single time that they do it, right? They put Donald Trump in the office, not me or you, not us going out and voting. Like, in the mainstream media just constantly attacking Donald Trump and making him just seem like he's the world's worst person that has ever existed on the face of the planet. They're the people that actually put Donald Trump into office, right? So you should be thanking them, right? Maybe he is. I don't know. Maybe their feud is just it's a celebrity death match, WWE. Maybe it's all just fake. Maybe it's kind of, you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. But I don't really think that's the case, seeing as, news outlets like CNN, MSNBC, all these, mainstream media, far leftist, propagandist wings are starting to crumble. Right. Their ratings are going down the tank. They're struggling to get viewers. It's all bad for them. Right. And they know it. So if anything, if that is the case, Donald Trump's not scratching their back very hard. Right. So of course there's this gem right here. The Wall Street Journal just released a photo of the Trump Epstein birthday card. Dear Jeffrey, may every day be another wonderful secret. Winky face. Love, Donnie. And of course we got this beautiful hand-drawn naked lady. Let's see. Vince Langman says, so let me get this straight. Wall Street Journal. Trump deranged psychopath Merrick Garland raided Mar-a-Lago and ordered FBI agents to go through his wife's underwear drawers looking for garbage on Trump to end his political career. But he kept his connection to Jeffrey Epstein quiet. Okay, so again, like I say, that's the whole thing. And again, when it comes to them actually going after Donald Trump, like I say, this type of stuff is the easy stuff that they could do, right? So of course they raided Mar-a-Lago, and then they did the whole fucking files thing on him, right? The whole top secret files that Donald Trump was storing, haphazardly. So look at these; they are laid out on the floor, and it says "top secret" on the top of it. They did that whole thing, right? So I think a lot of these, I don't think that they're fucking super geniuses on either side of this whole scenario, right? I think that they really just did kind of botch this whole fucking thing, and I think that this was just a kind of a thing that they could go after. Right. So that way, I think their whole raiding Trump's Mar-a-Lago was a bit more of a kind of a scare tactic to oh, look how far we're going to go. Like we ain't fucking around. Right. And I think that's more of the deep state's MO is to do things like that, as opposed to actually releasing the fucking truth. Right. The truth is their fucking last option. Right. The truth is their fucking Samson option. That's fucking, well, I guess we're fucked. I guess we got to tell the truth now. Like that is their very, 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 very last thing that they would want to do. Right. So I doubt that that's the case, man. But either way, I seem to be kind of alone on that. The Wall Street Journal presenting their Trump toppling Epstein story. Let's see. Pop Crave says Trump allegedly sent Jeffrey Epstein a lewd letter inside the outline of a naked woman for his 50th birthday, according to Wall Street Journal. May every day be a wonderful secret. Let's see what the Wall Street Journal done had to say. See, Wall Street Journal says it isn't clear how the letter with Trump's signature was prepared. Inside the outline of the naked woman was note styled as an imaginary conversation between Trump and Epstein, written in the third person. Says voiceover. There must be more to life than having everything, the note began. Donald. Yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is. Jeffrey. Nor will I, since I also know what it is. Donald. We have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Jeffrey. Yes, we do. Come to think of it. Donald. Enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? Jeffrey. As a matter of fact, it was clear to me last time I saw you. Donald. A pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret. Yeah, Donald Trump doesn't talk like that. I don't know. Donald Trump's never talked like that, as far as I've heard. And that could just be me. Let's see if Trump derangement syndrome had a face. Meet Khadija Safdar, whatever the fuck foreign ass name she has. Reporter from the Wall Street Journal. Let's see. No one cares about Jeffrey Epstein. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. Something about being yeah. Like I said, I don't know. Apparently, a lot of people don't care about the Jeffrey Epstein thing. I do, man. Like I say, it's kind of a big deal for me. You know what I mean? Yeah. And again, like I say, I do understand the pragmatic reasoning behind it. Of course, industries would collapse, and of course, this would all have Donald Trump's name written all over it. Everyone would say like, "Oh, Donald Trump wanted to go in and just release all the government secrets out to the world," and oh, this is what happened. This is what happened. This is why governments keep secrets. This is why we have a. Yeah, fucking cat. This is why we have top secrets, Yeah, I forgot where I was at. But yeah, so either way, let's go on to Nick's order. Breaking. President Trump has officially filed a massive libel lawsuit against Wall Street Journal News Corporation, Dow Jones, and Rupert Murdoch. This comes after their bullshit piece attempting to link Trump to Epstein. Trump may soon own Wall Street Journal. Interesting. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and read this real quick. All right. Actually, I think I have the same thing. Yep. All right. No, either way, let's go ahead and read this real quick. So Donald Trump says, or let's see, MAGA Elvis. Now we see what Trump was talking about with fake Wall Street Journal story, super fake. Geez, the radical left Democrats have hit pay dirt again, just like with the fake and fully discredited Steele dossier, the lying 51 intelligence agents, the laptop from hell, which the Dems swore had to come from Russia. No, it came from Hunter Biden's bathroom. And even the Russia scam itself, a totally fake and made up story used in order to hide crooked Hillary Clinton's big loss in the 2016 presidential election. These scams and hoaxes are all the Democrats are good at. It's all they have. They're no good at governing. They no good at policy, no good at picking winning candidates. Also, unlike Republicans, they stick together like glue. Their new scam is what we will refer to, or what we will forever call, the Jeffrey Epstein hoax, and my past supporters have bought into this bullshit hook, line, and sinker. They haven't learned their lesson and probably never will. Even after being conned by the lunatic left for 8 long years, I have more success in 6 months than perhaps any president in our country's history, and all these people want to talk about with strong prodding by the fake news and the success-starved Dems is the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. Let these weaklings continue forward and do the Democrats' work. Don't even think about talking of our incredible and unprecedented success, because I don't want their support anymore. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. All right. So again, the whole big thing was these weaklings, right? And basically, like I say, he's really just kind of turned on his supporters. Like, if you don't know that your supporters think that Jeffrey Epstein is kind of a big deal, then you're really tone deaf, to be honest with you. And again, when it comes to the whole Epstein thing, just shut up. You didn't have to say anything at all. You know, it's like fucking walking, into like walking up to your lady or something like that. And it's like, I got something to tell you. We need to talk. And actually, there's nothing. I don't got nothing to talk about. Like, yeah, you just fucking stirred up a whole shit pot that you don't even want to get into, man. All right. Say ultimately, just shut the fuck up. We never thought that the Epstein files were going to get released until you guys started fucking saying things, right? Until fucking Pam Bondi came out and started, with the whole, um, they're sitting on my desk right now. They're sitting on my desk right now. We're definitely going to release them. They did the whole fucking, what was it? Phase 1, where they had all the fucking social media influencers off. With their stupid little fucking fake ass binders full of shit that we already knew, and some of the stuff in there was even more redacted than the stuff that we already fucking had unredacted beforehand, right? So yeah, you people are absolutely fucking ridiculous. They think that you're not noticing. They think that you're not paying attention, and they're really just trying to pull the wool over your eyes, tell you that there's nothing wrong, trying to piss on you, tell you it's fucking rain. I don't know, insert idiom here, man. But they're like I say, it's really just kind of insulting, And one more thing, so the whole thing with Donald Trump, he's not talking about the fucking with that post that I just read for you guys. He's not talking about fucking this scam that they're about to release next week. No, he's talking about fucking Jeffrey Epstein. Like, you really think that Donald Trump doesn't? You really think that Donald Trump? I don't know, man. Fucking obviously, Donald Trump knows something is wrong with Epstein. I would hope so. I would fucking hope so. He kicked him out of his resort, several years back before any of the arrests, anything like that, or took place. So I would assume that he probably knows about Jeffrey Epstein and how deeply invested the public is with everything that's been going on with Jeffrey Epstein, right? So I don't think that he's trying to like I say, I don't think that he's making this post for something that's going to take place in the future. I think that he's actually talking shit to his former supporters, as he calls them, or past supporters, as he calls them. And I think that he's honestly trying to get everybody to believe that Epstein fucking killed himself and that he never had a client list, that he didn't fucking traffic, young girls to, people in any sort of positions of power. There's definitely no fucking blackmail that he even could have done. Nobody in any of these files or tapes or anything like that, that other than Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and fucking the British royal family, right? Those are the only people that in the entire thousands and thousands of hours that they have, right? Bullshit. But all right, let's go ahead and check out some of these real quick. So the Epstein hoax. So let's see. Natalie F. Denalishin. I don't fucking know. Trump says, you're not my supporter if you believe the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. Everyone who isn't a pedophile. Right? And again, I'm not turning my back on Donald Trump. I'm not gonna start fucking burning all my fucking Trump stuff. That's not the case. Like I said, with this, it's really just kind of like, dude, like, this is fucked. Like, this is absolute bullshit. But ultimately, like I said, I'm gonna criticize him. If I ever get a chance to, ask Donald Trump a question, it's definitely going to be Epstein related. Like I say, this is a pretty big deal for me, but ultimately, like I say, there's nothing I can actually do. There's nothing, within my power or your power, anything like that we could do that's going to change what's taking place right now. It's not like, we could we're going to sign a petition and we're going to make Donald Trump release those files. He's going to eat his words, things like that. Like, there's nothing like that that's going to take place. Right. So, I mean, ultimately we do just kind of have to live with this. And really at this point, we're just kind of like, dude, fuck it. Fix the economy. You fucking pedo protecting son of a bitch, That's really about all that there is to it right now on our side. But nonetheless, Jeffrey Epstein was without a doubt a prolific pedophile. He was a prolific child sex trafficker. And I'm 99% sure that he was connected through government in a gigantic fucking blackmail ring, based off of the fact that, shit, dude, Epstein got a fucking lower sentence than fucking Ray Epps, dude. Like, what the fuck is that, And yeah, just there's 3 fucking minutes missing from the unedited fucking video, right? Yeah, there's so many different things going on with this whole thing that, I just fucking fix the economy, you pedo protecting son of a fucking bitch. That's all I really got to say with it. This was the letter we just read. The Blair White says, we went from Democrats saying Epstein is a Republican hoax to Republicans saying Epstein is a Democrat hoax. That honestly means that they're all pedophiles. I 100% agree. Like I said, that's I'm of that opinion. All right. Ultimately, if as I said, that's the way that I believe that our world is run right now. I don't like it. Ultimately, in my opinion, I say fucking release all the fucking files. Let's go burn these motherfuckers down. And let's rebuild the fucking world, dude. Fuck it. If our world is held up by a fucking foundation that is crumbling and fucking we just fill the cracks with human fucking feces and shit to hold our fucking house together, and that's the way that we live right now, burn that fucking house to the ground. Like, destroy the foundation. We need to build anew, right? Like, no, we're not going to add another fucking piece of duct tape to this and just, oh, it's great. We're so happy to live here, woo, the founding fathers, things like that. Like, no, dude, burn the fucking shit down, release the fucking, Epstein files. Dude, I'm not willing to fucking accept that we just live like, it's pedophilia, things like that. It's just things that happen, man. Like, it's how our world works. Like, what the fuck you mean? You don't want to live in a world without pedophilia, or you don't want to live in a world that's run by pedophiles. Like, what world would you want to live in then? Yeah. Fuck, dude. Like, I can't accept that. That's just insane to me, but that seems to be the case. To define L's says, Elon Musk says Trump should release Epstein files and point out which part is the hoax. Right. I agree. So again, not on fucking Elon Musk's side, right? Still a little bit of upset about Elon Musk and his whole, trying to play the whole super fucking principled libertarian and things like that, while still trying to get an EV mandate. But nonetheless, like I say, that's neither here nor there. Like I say, we put our big boy pants, we pick them up, tighten our belt, and we fucking move on, But yeah, so Elon Musk, I'm totally with you on that. He should just release the Epstein files and point out which part is the hoax. Natalie F. Denlishin. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong too, but either way, this is insane. Trump calling Epstein the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. Epstein was sex trafficking children. That was not a hoax. Trump wants this to go away. This is disgusting behavior. All right. I absolutely 100% agree. See, if the Epstein files is a hoax, then what in the world was this? Right. This was fucking hoax release files, phase 1. Right. We're gonna let you know everything about it. Right. Of course, I don't fucking know. Again, this is just some thing that just popped into my head just a second ago. But I mean, Donald Trump used to be a Democrat back in the day. I mean, he used to vote Democrat. He didn't run for office or anything like that until he voted in 2016. But nonetheless, Donald Trump used to be a Democrat back in the day. He used to support the Democrats. He used to vote for Democrats. And back in the day, I'm pretty sure he's probably fucking rubbed some fucking elbows with old Bill Clinton at one point or another. Back in the 90s. So as we know, that Bill Clinton is very, very connected to Jeffrey Epstein, to the point where Jeffrey Epstein even has a painting of Bill Clinton in a blue dress, a very fine looking blue dress, I might add, right there in his house. Right. So yeah, they're rather connected. Of course, as we know from back in the fucking 90s, Bill Clinton was a bit of a sexual deviant, and he wasn't that good at not getting caught. So yeah, so there was there's that whole thing. Again, like I say, I don't know if they're actually connected, anything like that, but nonetheless, this is not a good look for Donald Trump, man. Not a good look. Let's see. Trump is now saying the Epstein files are a Democrat hoax. Jeffrey Epstein hoax. He basically saying, if you don't support me, a pedophile, then I don't want you as a supporter. That is a hell of a position to take, right? See, so now Epstein isn't a hoax. The Attorney General Pam Bondi, President Trump, we are ready to move the court tomorrow to unseal grand jury transcripts. All right, so yeah, this was another thing. This was actually the last thing, right? So Donald Trump is trying to quash this. I mean, he's trying to, I guess, backpedal. He's trying to do something to basically save face to not look like he's protecting pedophiles, even though he's clearly protecting pedophiles, right? And so he's ordering Pam Bondi to release the grand jury transcript. So as he says, based on the ridiculous amount of publicity given to Jeffrey Epstein, I have asked Attorney General Pam Bondi to produce any and all pertinent grand jury testimony, subject to court approval. This scam perpetrated by the Democrats should end right now. Yeah, I'd love to see that, dude. Again, just fucking stoking the fire even more, right? Just poking the fucking bear even more. I know that you're full of shit. I know that we're not going to get any fucking thing. I know that there's not going to be any fucking grand jury transcripts, anything like that. That's why you added the subject to court approval fucking line, right? That's why you had to make sure that you put that in there, right? Subject to court approval. Yeah, you're not going to give a paper with just black lines all over the fucking thing, you know, not going to be anything on that motherfucker. So yeah, I'm not going to be holding my breath, you know, but nonetheless, that is what he is attempting to do to try and save face, to try and turn the situation around. And again, I hope so. You know, I really, really do want to trust Donald Trump. I really, really do want to trust, this administration. I really, really do want to trust that they're getting to the bottom of this, that they're decent people. Yeah, I doubt that they're good people. Yeah, again, like I said earlier, you don't rise to these sorts of levels within society by being a fucking good person, you know, or being a moral foundation or a moral fucking compass for everybody, you know. So yeah, ultimately, I really, really am hoping that, you know, it's just I'm hoping that there's going to be something like, you know, like a couple weeks from now, we just boom, 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 fucking kicked in a whole bunch of doors. Like, I was just kidding. We were actually just doing an investigation the whole time. We were about to go wrap these people up, man. So these people are the most powerful people in the world. So we had to make sure that we did this secretly. We had to bait and switch them. We told them that there's absolutely nothing here. We told them that we were going to have them protected and that nothing was going to come their way. But alas, we were coming for them and we got them, right? I'm hoping something like that's going to take place. Again, highly fucking doubt it. I really doubt it. But then again, I mean, you know, Donald Trump's full of surprises. So you never actually know, man. But either way, definitely some crazy fucking shit, man. Definitely some crazy times that we're living in. I hope the best for you guys. I hope the best fucking comes of this. Again, these are children that were hurt, you know, in such a way. Like I say, there are things worse than death in this life. I mean, I think being a sex slave as a child is probably one of the most horrific existences that can be. You know, it's absolutely heartbreaking. You know, again, like I said, I have children. I'm sure many of you have children. You know, I mean, absolutely horrific. And nothing to see here, guys. Like, that's unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. And again, I think that this is something that's going to ripple for some time. And I don't know if he's just trying to rip off that fucking Band-Aid because I can't talk about Epstein, but nonetheless, they're going to start demanding stuff about Epstein, maybe around the midterms, things like that, and it's going to end up fucking me over. Maybe that was his thought process on the whole thing. You know, maybe he's, like I said, just trying to fucking air out this dirty laundry right away, air it out right away, you know, get it over with. And then, over the next year and a half, we're going to go ahead and pull out all the stops. We're going to, turn the economy around. We're going to get, women out of men out of women's sports. We're going to, do a whole bunch of things. Maybe that's the strategy. I don't know. But either way, definitely some crazy times. I'm not going to let this fucking thing go. Like I say, this is a rather aggravating turn of events within the Trump presidency. Again, like I said, I'm not fucking going to go out there and Donald Trump betrayed me. Like I said, I'm upset about it. But go fix the fucking economy, you fucking pedo protecting son of a bitch. And all right, well, I appreciate you guys stopping by. Don't forget to like this video, share this video out with your friends. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you could think of anything that I might have missed, any sort of angle, direction, let me know what you guys think on this. Do you guys are you guys not letting this go? Are you guys still of the mind that that Epstein didn't Epstein himself? Do you actually believe that there was a giant pedo ring? Let me know in the comments, man. I really appreciate all of you guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video out. And as always, fuck off.